The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem officially opened today. Listen to what Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had to say at today's ceremony. Roll tape.
Last December, President Trump became the first world leader to recognize Jerusalem as our capital. And today, the United States of America is opening its embassy right here in Jerusalem. Thank you, President Trump, for having the courage to keep your promises.
Joining us now is David Rubin, Shiloh, Israel, a Children's Fund, and former mayor of Shiloh, Israel. David, auspicious day, the state of Israel. Your thoughts on how this all came about? Because, of course, so many presidents have made this promise, but President Trump was the only one to deliver.
Well, thank you, Charles. That's true. It's very true. Congress came through on, about a good 30 years ago, and finally, after all these years, it's happened. I think what it took is a world leader that has the courage of his convictions, and President Trump does. If you look at any of the moves that he has made since becoming president in foreign policy, he's followed through on what he said he was going to do, and that includes, just in the past week, scrapping the Iran deal, and, of course, moving the embassy. Two big moves.
Two huge moves. And, of course, though, we know that the United Nations is not going to be happy about this. What are the implications now that it's done? Is it possible to get some of these Western nations that have had really acrimonious relationships with Israel to recognize what's happened here, to recognize the historics of it, to Benjamin Netanyahu's point, and maybe start to look at the situation differently?
Well, Charles, it is already happening. There are a couple of countries already. Guatemala is already moving its embassy tomorrow, I believe. Romania is already talking about it. The Czech Republic is already talking about it. So things are happening, but there are even more interesting things happening. Just a few days ago, the king of Bahrain, which is an ally of Saudi Arabia, said that Israel has a right to defend itself after the Israeli strike on the Iranian military bases in Syria. And of course, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia has been quietly cheering Israel on because they're more concerned in the Persian Gulf. They're more concerned about the Iranian threat than Israel is even.
Right.
So there's some very interesting things happening. You never would have seen any of this happening just a couple of years ago.
There's no doubt about that, and some of it speaks to just how much of a threat Iran is to the entire region. This new sort of evolving Sunni-Israeli relationship, are you hopeful that it will be long-term, long-lasting, and perhaps ultimately be the key to bring peace to the Middle East?
Oh, certainly. Look, we talk all the time about countries, relationships, friendships, and I believe that the friendship between Israel and the United States is a friendship that's built on values, on common values, on a common heritage that goes way back to the founding fathers with their roots in the Bible. But I think when you look at most countries in the world, you're talking about interests. You're talking about common interests. And in the Middle East, what greater interest do the countries have than to safety and prosperity? Israel is a high-tech power. Israel is on the move in terms of entrepreneurship. And that's all good for the Middle East. It's all good for the Arab countries in the Middle East. So if they're really looking after their own interests, not just militarily, but also economically, they should be looking to Israel. And as I said, many of them are starting to do that.
David, congratulations, and thank you very much for coming on the show this morning. Appreciate it.
Thank you.